Gear up. Gear up? No, it'll be gear up. I don't know, who cares? By adopting a mocking tone, you leave me free to do the same. Just remember that you chose the tone of this conversation. Why did you reply to this video? Of all the ones I've done, why did you reply to this one? It's because in this one I offered, I suppose you could say, a ray of light within the scientific perspective. Now, you want to have a monopoly on light. That's why you responded to this video. You can't stand the idea that there's anything in science that's wonderful or beautiful or astounding. You just cannot stand that. You want to be able to tell all the little followers that atheists have got nothing. You want to scare all the little children into thinking that science and therefore atheism is in some sense without beauty or without wonder. You are scared that once people realise the true depth of the scientific viewpoint, with all the awe and wonder and almost magic that it contains, you think that if they get to realise that atheism has all that, it has something to offer, you're scared that people will leave. And it makes me wonder if you haven't glimpsed some part of how wonderful that is, so as to see the threat. For you to see the threat, you must have heard something in what I was saying. Glad I got through to you. You want to be able to say, I have all the hope, I have all the hope. The atheists don't have any hope. They don't have anything nice at all. I talk about a few things that are nice, and you immediately raise your voice as if to drag the children towards you to see your single failing flickering light bulb to my laser light show. You seem to think that I claim that science will reveal absolute truth. I don't. The person who thinks they've already got absolute truth is you. What I ask people to understand are some fairly basic concepts about the universe, and it's precisely because I don't consider myself to be especially intelligent that I know people can do this, and if I can have it, then any idiot can have it. Well, maybe not any idiot. Science, contrary to your extremely limited understanding of the word and the method, does not tell you absolutely what the universe is, but it does hint very, very, very strongly as to what the universe is not. There are only the laws of physics. If you believe in something that does not have to obey the laws of physics, then science says that you are almost certainly wrong. I'm not betting on you. I mean, in England we have this test, part of English, we call it comprehension. You read a passage and then at the end you're asked questions about the information that was contained in the passage that you read. I'm willing to bet that you didn't do very well at that particular discipline when it came to the English language. I'm right, aren't I? By saying that you think that science is claiming to reveal absolute truth, you show your total ignorance of what science is. Now, you've heard a lot of science, you've lived long enough to hear plenty of science in your life, and you still don't understand the basic things. I have to believe you've chosen to do that. Now, that, to me, is a crime, I'm afraid, in my mind, and in my mind I'm judge, jury, and executioner, and I sentence you to stay exactly as you are, with a fully functional, perfectly formed brain running on a story that it heard as a child. That's your punishment. That seems fitting. You stay as you are. For the microscopic part that you've played and continue to play in keeping people from reality, I damn you. Atheism leads to purposelessness. That's your opinion. No. You say we embrace tragedy. We don't embrace tragedy. We embrace reality. We found the strength to do it. Or rather, we found that we all had the strength to do it. You simply don't know that you've got the strength to do it. You don't think you can. It terrifies you. Understandably, you've had a comfort blanket all your life. But we climb mountains for the purpose of seeing the furthest. We cross deserts for the purpose of getting to the other side. We have a million purposes. You have only one purpose, and you just happen to have chosen a purpose that is, for any sane person, silly. It's embarrassing. I'm sorry, but you chose it, or rather you're still choosing it. If ever you think God speaks to you, listen very, very closely. Listen to the words, the intonation, the accent, the way the voice is used. Notice how similar that voice is to your own. No, you're wrong again. The reason you're not an atheist is because somebody holding a Bible got to you when you were either very young or at a very low point. Tell me I'm wrong. And you say, no decent, solid answer can come from a cold, naturalistic worldview, a purely cold, naturalistic worldview. Well, only solid answers can come from a naturalistic worldview. Everything not based on evidence is very, very shaky, if not sand. Focusing on the word create, as you did, is so childish and so desperate. If I say electrical charge creates lightning, do you really think that electrical charge intentionally and intelligently designed and created lightning? You're not that stupid. Create was not a keyword that affected what I was saying at all. Create is only a keyword for you creationist. By the way, does being a creationist mean you actually have a full legal monopoly on the word create? Just wondering. I say that life requires planets to form and chemicals to mix, and you say it sounds like God spoke it all into existence. Well, if you really think that what I said sounds like what you said, then I find that psychologically fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. No, we can't create life from nothing. But then what are you going to say when one day maybe we can? Because you said it takes God to bring life to inanimate matter. And what if we learn to do it? Does that mean we become God? Will you shut up then? Yes, the most complex thing in the universe is between your ears, but you filled it with garbage. It's not just about contemplation. It's about informed contemplation. You have to comprehend a few things first in order to contemplate with any justification whatsoever. You don't. You can barely read. Who the hell is Phil Hellion? I say we're the universe made self-aware. True. You say we are just men. True. One displays a deeper level of understanding. Guess which? You say I'm a naturalist, and because I'm a naturalist, I should believe that the universe doesn't care, that the cosmos doesn't care. Well, because I'm a naturalist, I know that I'm part of that cosmos, and I care. So at least locally, where I am, there's a piece of universe that cares about what the truth is. Your piece of universe doesn't care what the truth is. God died for me. That's just another version of be nice to Grandma. She works hard for the money to buy you socks at Christmas. It's the sort of thing which just pulls on a kid's heartstrings. It's not going to work with me. I'm an adult. By confusing the element of chance within physical law, which allows life in this universe, with the element of chance which is directed by natural selection in evolution, which is where I think you are getting confused, you show that after, 20 years of hearing evidence, not just on YouTube, but throughout your life about evolution, you still don't understand the basics of the concept. I mean, if I was your teacher about life, what would I put on your card? 20 years, no improvement. What do I give you for effort? You can't understand a simple concept which can be explained to the average 10-year-old over a couple of hours spent around a flower patch. So if somebody asks me where they come from, and I tell them that they come from the stars, and that they are pieces of the universe, a way for the universe to know itself, don't you bring your ignorant voice into my classroom and try and in some way deflect minds from the truth and from the reality that science reveals. I think that that is quite a wonderful perspective on life, and I think there's a lot of people like me. Beware, priest, we're telling people how wonderful reality is. In terms of this universe, I know that I know very little. But even that very little is more than enough to know that you know far less. What do you call a Christian who argues against reality? A Christian.